Grab your favorite cup, roll a blunt, slide into a nice warm tub, whatever you need to do to get ready for the new tea.
Our goal is to uplift, upgrade, and update you on what is happening in the world from a culturally conscious gaze.
Of course, we'll throw in some off-color topics to make our subjects more palpable.
Welcome to Urban Proper.
Hey, y'all.
Hi.
It is me. It is Shesha, the Cutler, a.k.a. self-proclaimed queen of everything the light touches.
And it be me, Darrious, the destroyer, self-proclaimed destroyer of all things, including, but not limited to...
Booty hole.
Booty hole.
It's a booty hole.
Girl, that's a booty hole.
Things that live real free in my mind.
Fully. You know what? You know what lives rent free in my mind? I don't know if you saw the video. It's this girl, and she's like, "Welcome to McMolly Wops. Can I take your order?" Rent motherfucking free.
Talking about what was like the side of whoop that and like stomp the boots.
Hands with the side of a wooden bat, hands with the side of a taser, or hands with the side of a stomp a bitch boots.
And you know what else? Excuse me, bitch.
I throat punched that bitch. Knocked her ass.
Isn't she from St. Louis?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
My boyfriend knows her.
Lives rent. He would.
Yeah.
He definitely would.
Yeah.
Starting off the episode talking about your boyfriend.
Get it out of the way.
Hey.
So what is on the table for today?
Well, today we are going to talk about creating content and our personal experience with it, being creators on different wavelengths.
And different outlets and sources of content creation. It's rough out here in these streets. It's
definitely rough. In this day of age, like social media is where a lot of people, if you're not posting your content on social media, you're just not existing. And a lot of people think the market is, it's hard to stand out.
Yeah.
A lot of people think the market is oversaturated, which I disagree a little bit on certain aspects of that.
Yeah.
Just depends on what outlet or what you're doing on as far as creating content. Of course, Darrious, you are just a master content creator from creating plays and music, art.
So for me, content creation has been something that I've always done, and even before it was called being a content creator. Like, I always have been drawing, have been writing, have been fucking singing and dancing and like doing all this stuff that is just like me living my life.
Yeah.
Didn't know that I could make money off of it. But here I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really has, just in my 27 years of life, almost 28 years, I'll be 28 in a couple weeks.
Yes.
My almost 28 years of life, I've seen content creation change. Like, it's gone from being, Vine when we were in, what was it, high school? That Vine was a thing? Or was it after high school?
I want to say probably like, at least for me, I was out of high school. I'm just a couple of years older than you.
Yeah, I think I was like a junior or senior when Vine was happening, when it was popular.
Yeah.
But literally, TikTok is just Vine with a different video format.
Yeah.
And like a little bit more of a technological boost, because here we are in 2020. The world might be shit, but the technology is moving along.
And it's you really have to keep up. You really have to continuously practice this, especially depending on like what your niche is, like as far as like graphic designing or animation. You really have to sharpen your skills continuously, because there's always new things coming out and always new trends.
Yeah. And that's that is the main, like the biggest thing with content creation, is to always be learning. Never think that you have learned everything that you need to know about whatever your lane is, because there is always something new. We were just talking about the other day what version of Photoshop we were on. Because it changes so frequently.
It does.
And from I've had Photoshop. I've been using Photoshop since high school. Mm-hmm. Since high school, there have been, what are we on? CS 20 something now?
2021?
Yeah, CS 20. So that's 10 years worth of Photoshop changes that have happened.
Yes.
There's no way that in high school there's shit I'm still learning today that I didn't learn back in high school.
Yeah. And even like just to do a little throwback, like I don't think a lot of people, we've talked about this before, I believe, unless, I don't know, on the podcast or just in our personal conversations about how like Black Planet and MySpace back in the day really taught us HTML coding and CSS cascading styles.
Yeah.
And how I wish I would have stuck with it. But no, like you really like that has even changed from me knowing how to do that, you know, from middle school, like I say 7th, 8th grade, till early in high school, like freshman and sophomore year, until like reintroducing myself to it in my late 20s and my early 30s. It's like, what?
Like it's a whole new world out there.
It is. It definitely is. And it's good. It's great. It's great to have innovation.
And one thing that I've learned is that, like you were saying, grow with the thing. Don't let it, if you have something that you're passionate about, you're a content creator, whether it is making 7-second videos on Vine or long form YouTube videos or graphic design or a podcast or a blog, always just stick with it. Stick with the thing. It's not like riding a bike. You will not just be able to get right back on that bitch when you stop.
Yeah, and that's kind of like segue to me. Like we were talking earlier about how I was really into like the drawing, the painting, like I said, the coding, the HTML coding and stuff like that. And I really stepped away from it because like real world hit me. Like I needed to, which happens to a lot of people. You focus on surviving and creating a career for yourself, and you really push that aside in adulthood. And I'll say in the last 3 years, I really tried to revisit that and realize that it's not like riding a bike.
It really isn't.
It isn't. It's like really had to like relearn a whole bunch of stuff all over again and like start from fresh and like Dreamweaver and Photoshop.
Oh my God, Dreamweaver. Oh my God.
I don't even know if Dreamweaver's still a thing. No, it's still a
thing.
Yeah. But from like I said, like I got a certification in user experience design earlier this year, and a lot has to do with like web design and graphic design, and like having to relearn that and rediscover my artistic side has been a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, definitely. For me, one of the biggest things that getting back into was singing, and like I've talked to numerous like vocal coaches and like all kinds of other people who are like, I tell them my story of like how I sang when I like all through elementary school, and then I stopped once my voice started changing. They were like, "That's your mistake." Yeah. Like you should have kept singing through that voice changing. That way you would have grown with your voice. The point of this episode is to grow with your craft.
Grow with your craft and be open to change, and realizing your opportunities. And when I say opportunities, I mean like places where you can. I'm looking at this thing like it's gonna fall. I'm like really like stressing about this. Got this microphone rigged in the arm. I don't know why we can't get it right. This episode.
It is precariously perched.
Yes. What was I saying?
What the hell were you saying? It was just 4 seconds ago. What the fuck?
And being stress brain.
There you go, stress.
This is stress. No, we're not talking about stress.
No, we're not talking about stress.
No, I'm just saying, no, this is stress brain.
What the fuck were you saying?
Being creative and opportunities of areas where you lack that's customer service speak. Opportunities of improvement and stuff like that. But my maxim has always be learning, because whatever field you're in, it's always going to be innovations, there's always going to be changes, especially on the content world. You have to keep up with trends, like which memes are popping, what type of videos are people engaging with, what type of content are people more willing to engage with or drawing their attention to engage with. And that's like one of our struggles with our podcast.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And I was just about to say, sorry to cut you off.
Very good.
Within finding those things that are trending and popular, still trying to figure out what your lane within that is very difficult.
Very much so.
But also, a lot of people will try to tell you, now I've said this, I probably have said it on the podcast. I know I've said it to people. I did say it on the podcast because I was talking about Drake and I was like, pick a lane.
Oh, yeah.
Now, yes, you need to pick a lane. However...
Such a Drake hater.
But, however, that lane can go in any direction you want it to. It can have many different forks and blah, 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 blah. Like, you can pick a lane, pick what you're good at, and branch off from there. But always remain in your lane. Don't come in mine because I fucking...
What that one video you sent me was like, you pop it, girl, you pop it on your own lane, but not on mine.
But not in my neighborhood. Not in my neighborhood.
Not in my neighborhood.
But you pop it.
Yeah. Oh, you the baddest bitch or something like that. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But not on my block.
But not on my block.
On your block.
But like truly, like we, as content creators, we can grow and we can find our niche and we can pick our lane and we can create as much content as we can. Mm-hmm. And kind of lose sight of our creative side sometimes. Yes. So make sure that you're making stuff that you want to make, which is why I say stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane, yes. But also I agree with that to a certain extent, but you also have to roll with the times a little bit. And true. It's just, it's a catch-22. You really have to be able to be original and... showcase your talent and your niche and also kind of fit it into what's trending to stay afloat.
I literally just did that. Yeah? I'm making a TikTok.
Man.
I cave in.
I'm getting ready to cave in. And it's not that I'm anti-TikTok. It's just like it's so many social media platforms. Uh-huh. And we talked about the Social Dilemma episode or docuseries on Netflix and how a lot of social media is geared towards making the user addictive. And I found myself, like, recently, I love Twitter. And I was on Twitter, like, at its prime, like 2009, 2011. And I took a long hiatus and I came back. And I am addicted. You know that SpongeBob meme when the fish is just busting the doors open. Yeah. Like I'll literally be like, okay, I'm gonna go do something else, or I'm gonna go wash the dishes, and then 5-10 minutes later, I'm back on Twitter, and an hour done passed, and I'm like, damn, I ain't washed the dishes yet. Son of a bitch. But yeah, it's so in the algorithm. The algorithm is
fucking algorithm.
Oh my gosh.
So, according to, and I've only been on TikTok for like a week now. Mm-hmm. I only started TikTok, and honestly, this kind of really ties into the conversation we're having. My cousin is a musician. Mm-hmm. He plays 11 billion instruments.
Yes, 11 billion instruments.
I mean, he is phenomenally talented. I will link his stuff on our page, so I'll share one. He's got some stuff coming out soon. He is incredibly talented. Mm-hmm. And I had recorded a video because I was creating some content. And I plugged my mic in wrong, I had my mic on the wrong setting, and there was a bunch of static in the audio. Mm-hmm. He's an audio engineer. He was like, send it to me. I'll try and work on it for you. Yeah. So we got into a long conversation about, media, about business, the business side of things, about promoting yourself. And he was like, you need to make a TikTok. And I was like, I don't want to. And he was like, it is popping right now. You need to make a TikTok. Yeah. And I was like, damn it, cousin.
Because when Vine was popular, I was like, I was more on the Twitter side. Mm-hmm. I was more on Twitter, and Instagram had just came around. Facebook was kind of dying off for me around that time. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't really trying to create content. I was just basically just like a patron of the social media back then.
The patron saint of social media.
Yes. But really being a content creator right now, it's just, especially with our podcast, mm-hmm. It's like creating the format or what we're going to talk about on the show, It's a lot goes into it. It's not that hard to do, honestly.
It was much easier than I expected it to be. Much easier than I expected it to be. The hardest thing was getting our shit on iTunes, on like Apple, and that's just because
on Apple Podcasts.
Is a bitch in a hoe.
A bitch in a hoe. But yeah, it is definitely a journey, and it's an exciting journey also.
Yeah, well, let's break down for them the steps in the process that we went through of starting our podcast in case anybody is interested in starting a podcast.
Absolutely. So you really don't need, it's a lot of blogs out there that say you need a plethora of equipment, and honestly, just to start off, you just need a mic.
Yeah.
Honestly, a mic and an audio software like GarageBand that comes with your Mac. Or I don't know what comes. I don't know about PCs anymore. About PC either. I'm like PC illiterate.
I am a diehard Android user. You sit me in front of a Windows computer, and I'm like, how do you do?
Yes.
How do you make the thing do it?
I used to be all into Windows, but we're having an ADD moment again, like always.
But whatever software comes with your Windows computer, if you have a Mac and an Apple computer, it comes with GarageBand. Yeah. Every single one does. GarageBand and iMovie.
Yes.
So yeah, like Shesha was saying, a microphone for me for a podcast is like the one big investment you should make at the beginning of your podcast journey.
Yeah.
Because if you have a solid microphone, it doesn't matter what you plug that bitch into, it is going to sound good.
Yeah. We have a couple of mics. I have an Apogee mic that we use on a regular basis, and also, what is the brand you use?
I have a Blue Snowball.
Blue Snowball, yeah. So it's like it depends on what your pockets are, but you can't go wrong with either one.
My microphone, my Snowball, I got it probably like 4 or 5 years ago, but it was on sale for $79. And it is a solid microphone. Like, if you want to hear what my microphone sounds like, go to my YouTube channel and watch my videos and hit that subscribe button, bitch.
Especially the Grinch video. Please don't watch that.
Oh my God, please watch that video. It was a lot of fun to do. I have recently gotten into the makeup world, in the beauty community, as they call it. I'm not trying to get too deep in that bitch because it is some drama.
Really?
But yes, girl, the beauty community is fucked. They are fucking crazy. They're fucking crazy, and I'm just like scared to hashtag my stuff beauty boy because like I don't want nobody to be like, who is this entering the chat? And I'm like, I'm just here to put on makeup and skincare, girl.
So there's some catty ass bitches.
Fully, 100%.
Oh my goodness, there is so many different content communities out there.
So many.
Yeah, we could talk about that. Well, I'll let you finish.
But yeah, so my microphone was very cheap. Like I said, like $80 for a quality like. Blue, I believe Blue is the brand and Snowball is the style of microphone. Mm-hmm. But Blue makes like Yetis, and Yeti is like the GOAT, Holy Grail microphone. So this is just like a step down from a Yeti. And Yetis aren't even that expensive. They're like $130.
No. I think that's about the price range for the Apogee one I have was about $130, I believe. And I just wanted to put a little bit, have a backup, and because we do the podcast at my place, and just so you know, have a backup. It has become our primary microphone, but just invest in your craft. And
yes,
it's the thing, you really have to sometimes spend money to make money.
Yeah, you got to spend money to make money, or
just not even just that. You have to invest in your craft. Like I was talking about, I recently got back into graphic design and UX design, and I invested in. First of all, I invested in this expensive ass Mac because I had an old Mac. I had an older model, which is called vintage now.
Yeah, that's what mine is.
Yeah, so I invested in that, and then I got a Wacom pad, a sketch pad, like a digital sketch pad, which is amazing. Which I'm working on acclimating myself fully to. But yeah, it's different ways you can do with the content and the podcast.
One thing that we kind of not necessarily struggled with, but like had difficulty, like I said, getting on iTunes, having the correct RSS feed. I didn't even know what the fucking RSS feed was, and I still can't truly explain it to you. But it's essentially the link that you use that your iPod that your podcast is attached to, and you put it into all the websites like Spotify for podcasts, Apple Podcasts for podcasts, and every other podcast website that you want to use that you want your podcast to be available on. And it links directly to whatever platform that RSS feed comes from. Mm-hmm. So initially we were using SoundCloud, which was fine, but SoundCloud you have to pay to post more than however many hours. You're gonna have to pay for an RSS feed regardless, but SoundCloud is not necessarily the option I would start with. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to do longer form podcast episodes.
Yes, because we talk a lot.
A lot. We've tried to cut them down. They used to be like an hour and a half. Now we like to sit around like an hour, maybe 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But then we switched over to Podbean, which my good friend Molly over at the Casually Molly podcast. Check her out. She's awesome. I've been on several episodes of her podcast. Molly hipped us to Podbean, and Podbean is great. It's like $14 a month for your RSS feed. You can upload everything, schedule a post, and it will do it for you, which is my favorite thing because I don't want to have to remember to post the shit
at all. Like, especially with like this year and like having stress brain, and like we forget a lot of stuff. Like the other day we were talking about I was making the graphic for our upcoming episode, and I was like, yeah, I normally try to do it on Sundays, not Sundays, Mondays, and it was Wednesday. And I was like, it's been about 3 days. Let me go ahead and at least knock this out. Let me not procrastinate. So yeah, it's juggling it and juggling content and real life. It's just you really have to put the time in.
Yeah.
For to nurture and to grow and really do your research. And try to beat the algorithms.
Yeah.
As well.
Hashtags are important. I know a lot of people hate hashtags. I know it's hard to come up with hashtags, but honestly, you can go to your favorite influencers, your favorite, small creators, see what hashtags they're using, mm-hmm. and jump on some of those hashtags. You also can see how saturated a hashtag is on Instagram. Like it will, and like most places will show you how many people are using certain hashtags. So you can be like, okay, is this a good hashtag for me to use, or is this oversaturated at this point? Should I start a new hashtag? Which I hashtag a lot of my stuff Black queer content creator, mm-hmm. which I don't see a lot of people in, which makes me think like, oh, some people gonna start trying to click over there.
Yeah, because people honestly try to go for the ones that have the most hits, but you can also get lost in the sauce. Mm-hmm. You don't want to get lost in the sauce. Quoting Gucci Mane.
You don't want to get lost in the sauce.
No, don't get lost in the sauce. You want to be the sauce. You don't want to get lost in the sauce.
Be the sauce. That reminds me of Milo. Be the leaf.
Be the leaf.
Be the sauce. You can't see me. I'm being the sauce.
He's being the sauce. He's being the sauce all over the place.
All over the place, honey, all the time.
But yeah, this episode was just really geared towards like our journeys with our podcast and really just sending the ladder back down, even though we haven't climbed that high up. But just for the people that have been thinking about doing a podcast, we talked about it for, how long did we talk about it for? Like
God, our whole friendship shit.
Oh, we was like, we need a VH1 show, and this is that. Like, if we would have had a VH1 show, Jesus Christ,
Lord have mercy,
we would be on Dirty Shore level by now. But anyway,
fully. But
you really have to just go out and do it. You really just have to put the time in, invest the money, and just do it.
One of the greatest things that I took away from my time as a religious person was stepping out on faith. Mm-hmm. If you step out on faith, listen to ASMR snaps. If you step out on faith, you will achieve many great things. I'm not a religious person. I fully am not. I can't claim that. But that what is the word I'm looking for? Not phrase. Those words of wisdom took me a long way.
Yeah.
It got me a wildly successful play that I wrote and produced and directed myself. Like, all I did was say, I want to do this out loud. and I did it.
Yeah, and this, like, to kind of piggyback off the religious thing, it's like faith without works is dead. You can't be like, I want to do this, or I need to do this, or I need this to happen for me, but it's not going to happen unless you put the work in. And that's a conversation we were having earlier. Like, we were talking about, we kind of struggle with what to post on our social media, what content, if we're going to just, stay original, or are we going to try to do trendy stuff? And it's really having to sit down and do the research and see what's working for other people, and see if we can fit it into our idea of what we want, or where we want our podcast to go, or what we want our brand to be. But we can't do that if we're just like, well, just talking about it. We actually have to put forth the effort.
Yes. And it is awesome. Like, if you are not necessarily, I don't want to say insecure, but if you are nervous or scared about going on a venture on your own, it's always nice to do it with another person. Yeah. And a like-minded person, and a person who is hardworking. I've been in 2 partnerships at this point, and both of them have been, like, amazing. Like, when I was in Same Difference with a good friend of mine a couple years ago, we did a bunch of YouTube content. We made a bunch of music together, and it was great. We both had similar ideas of what we wanted to do, and we did it. And now this partnership with Shesha is equally as fulfilling, because we both know that we have to put the work in to get anything out of it.
Yes. And it's great, and it's been a great journey, and it's really us taking conversations that we had on a regular basis and being like, well, we didn't know about this coming up, or we didn't know about this in our adulthood, so let's spread the word. Let's, like I said, climb up the ladder and send it back down. And that's really how you have to be with information. A lot of people try to be stingy with information, and it's just like, why?
What are you going to do with that information if you keep it to yourself?
Right, like, you're not going to be able to pass it on to the next generation. Like, and information is wealth, knowledge is wealth as well. But also, like, a lot of people struggle with how to what's the word I'm looking for? Support content creators.
Yes.
That's one of the things that I even struggled with myself before we became, we did Urban Proper. It was just like, you don't necessarily have the money to donate or contribute to somebody's growth. But also with social media, word of mouth in social media goes a really long way. You really don't have to put money towards supporting, even though that's great to keep the business afloat. Not ours, talk about us personally, but just, business out there. Yeah. Literally hitting the retweet button, hitting the like button, putting something on your story.
Saving it, like saving a post, bookmarking it on Instagram is a big thing.
Yes.
And that's like, how almost said that's something they don't teach you about. Girl, we ain't learning about that and shit in school. It's something you don't really think about as a way to beat the algorithm, but a lot of it has to do with how you are interacting with the post. So like, comment on it. Even if you just like put one fucking laughing emoji, comment on that shit. Like she said, like it, share it to your stories, share it outside of the app that you're sitting on. Like if you're listening to this on Spotify, share it to your story on your Instagram, share it to your Facebook. It really, word of mouth is everything for digital content creators.
And a lot of people, like, especially during this pandemic, or like I like to call it pumpernickel, because everybody likes to mess with the word pandemic. During this pumpernickel, a lot of people don't have money to support, so that's like the next best thing is really sharing. Like on Twitter, there was a couple of we tried to start a Black-owned business thread, to help support Black businesses, and I think that's a great thing because people are very conscious of that nowadays, especially in our community, of trying to give back and try to keep money in our communities, and support our communities and help businesses become a huge conglomerate.
What?
I don't know.
Conglomerate?
I literally glitched trying to say yes. Literally,
conglomerate.
Thank you. My mind just glitched trying to say that. But yeah, it's simple as that, y'all. It's really that, and I really try to be conscious of that, even when I'm not on our podcast social media. Is that businesses I see try to retweet, like, oh, this is cool. Oh, this is something I like, or this is something I bought. Let me shout it out. Or even if I didn't buy it, this is something I want to buy.
Yeah.
And it's just helping somebody else discover it, because somebody else might need it, even if you don't need it.
Yeah, that's very true. And nobody will ever know about the product that your friend is making if you don't tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna know that your friends have a podcast if you don't tell anybody about it. Nobody's gonna know that you are the most incredible painter in the world if nobody's talking about it. Like, and that's a part of the struggle of social media and being a content creator, is you always have to be on social media.
Yeah.
Like, you always have to be absorbing and interacting with content on social media.
Yeah, your presence definitely has to be there.
It has to be there.
Yeah.
Or, like, I remember back in the day, people would post like one YouTube video a month. And then it got to a point where it would be 2 and 3, and then it would be like every day of the week they were posting a YouTube video, and I'm like, how in the fuck
are you doing this?
Are you doing this? I don't even have enough time to sit down and watch a video.
Yeah.
And now that I am a content creator, and now that I post YouTube videos 3 times a week, this is going to be the best tip you ever get. So listen, and listen well, bitch. Batch your content. If you have a full day off and you don't have shit else to do, and you are a YouTube video, or you do a podcast, or you do TikTok, or whatever the fuck you do 75 of them in one day. Not really 75. Don't exhaust yourself like that. But like, if I'm filming at a minimum 2 videos a day.
Yeah.
If it's a makeup day, I'm doing a full video and like 7. Like, I can show Sheesh right now. My TikTok is like, there's like 6 drafts of shit that I can post for next week. Always batch. Because what if you fucking walk into the street, get hit by a car, and then your arm is broken and you can't make any content? Yeah. Now you got content for days.
And that's kind of like what we've done in the last, for season 4, is kind of double up on episodes, especially since we started back up so close to the holidays. And we knew that life gets in the way too. Like, sometimes things happen, especially like with COVID and everything going on. Who's to say that, God forbid, knock on wood, when one of us goes to the store, we accidentally contract the virus. And
right.
Like, well, we can't meet up. We're no longer, safe to meet up anymore, but
right.
we still want our content to go on. So it's definitely something, a good practice to start.
Yeah. The more you get yourself into it, the more, like, if you start right now, today, you want to start a podcast. If you start today with 2 episodes, you will already be training your brain. They say it takes the human brain 7 times to get into the habit of doing something. If you record 2 episodes at a time 7 times, it will be a habit, and you won't be able to not do it.
And even though, like, we were talking about this earlier, that I'm going to start committing at least an hour a day to creating content, even on, like, just from a personal level or for our podcast. It's just, you really have to set some time aside and try to make it a habit so that it will just feel natural, so it doesn't feel like a chore. Yep. And this doesn't feel like a chore. I mean, it's fun. It's great, especially with the creating graphics for our
Shesha
episodes.
is killing the game with these graphics, y'all. Listen, I went to school for graphic design, and I'm like, damn, how you do that, girl? I only went for a semester, so I ain't like I did nothing. But like,
but no, like, shout out to the other content creators that have created tutorials on how to do certain graphic effects, text effects, because that's really where I've been going to, and a part of this this daily challenge, or this weekly challenge with Adobe in Slack. It's a Slack. No, I'm sorry, it's not Slack. It's what's the other thing called? Discord. We do a challenge, and there's a lot of people who post tutorials. So, like, you can be helpful. Like this, I'm pretty sure this episode is going to be helpful for the person that is like, oh, well, I want to do a podcast like Urban Proper, but I don't have the time. It's
Even if you start off with like shorter episodes, it doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you grow and change and adapt to the thing you're trying to do.
Yes.
And also, it will feel like a chore sometimes. I'm not like this for me. Like you said, doing this never feels like a chore because it's literally just me hanging out with my good friends, like doing something that we normally would do.
Yeah. With less drinking.
Because oh my God, we should do a drunk episode.
Oh, I'm scared of things we can say.
Oh my God, that would be incredible. Oh my God, that would be hilarious, y'all. But as far as creating YouTube, and listen, so this episode is going up way after. So I did a How the Grinch Stole Christmas look to come out this weekend that we are recording this episode. I spent 3 hours painting my damn face green, gluing hair on top of my eyebrows, bitch. Like, it is a process. Now, it is a fun process, and it's fun to watch it all come together. But then I spent another 3 hours filming, 4 TikToks? And a YouTube video.
The Grinch video, is hilarious. He let me watch it before we started filming. And it's really the Taco Bell cup for me. Like, it's really that whole, like, every time the shit pops up, it just took me out. Like, the whole video is hilarious, but that just adds the extraness to it. Like, yeah.
But, like, by the end of it, I was like, I just want to wash this green paint off my face and go to bed.
Yeah.
But I'm in the habit now of creating multiple videos, so I have a lot of content to post. And I don't have to spend 6 hours every single day filming videos.
Yeah.
I can do it like 2 or 3 times a week and be fine.
And it's a lot of conversations we have. Like, I always be like, is the market oversaturated? I think when we were getting ready to start our podcast, it was a new thing to do. And it's a lot of podcasts out there. But no, it's not, the market is not saturated. You really have to find the thing that's going to set you apart. And just do it. Mm-hmm. Just do it, as, our newly canceled Shia LaBeouf no more is to say. And if anybody doesn't know, Shia LaBeouf is being sued by his ex-girlfriend, FK Twigs. Yeah, that's
which I didn't even know that happened.
Apparently he's super abusive. Allegedly had given her STD.
Oh my God.
Was very insecure in his relationship. I read the article. She said if she didn't give him a certain amount of kisses in a day, he would berate her about it. I mean, 1,000 kisses. I'm an affectionate
1,000
person.
Kisses?
No, I'm not. I was getting ready to quote Luther Vandross.
Oh,
1,000 kisses is
never too much.
Never too much. Okay. But like, you counting them? That's weird.
That's weird.
Yeah, and a lot of people were like, well, he was already a weird dude, but it's just like, you could be a weird person without being abusive. You could be different without being abusive.
Yeah.
And that was really disheartening.
Listen, let me say this to y'all. I have been madly in love with Shia the Beef. Yes, his last name means the beef.
The beef.
Since that movie Disturbia. Okay, this is great.
I love Disturbia.
Such a good movie, and I remember this was right around the time when I came out, and I remember watching that movie and being like, "Holy fucking shit! This white man could get these cookies.
Can get all the cookies."
That was the moment for me. That was the moment. And now I got to keep them in the cookie jar.
Gotta keep him in the cookie jar for Shia LaBeouf no more.
Shia LaBeouf no more.
No more.
Terrible.
No, but back on the subject of oversaturating the market, there's a lot of new celebrity skincare lines coming out.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm sick of it or sick of it.
I don't know. Fenty.
We stay in Fenty.
Fenty, yes.
I've
actually yet to use Fenty.
Girl, get into it. You won't have to order it because it will be in Sephora as of December 26th.
But you know what? I already used a very expensive.
It's not expensive.
Line. But no, like I had already invested in my next round. Mm-hmm. And I was like, when it was popping, everybody was like, oh my God, Fenty, ordering this out of stock, bitch. I was like,
I was one of the people that made it.
Yeah, you were. Thanks. No.
I'm on my third round.
No, I had just got my. I probably had to get like new stuff like every 3 months, and I had just got $96 worth of skincare. So yeah, I wasn't investing anymore.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
The Fenty, I think they have so now they have 4 products. They have the Total Cleanser, the Fat Water, and which is a serum toner combination, and the Hydrovisor, which is a moisturizer and SPF at the same time, which I love that. But now they have the Instant Reset Night Cream, which I also really, really adore. They have like a package of all 4.
Ooh.
And it's like $100.
That's not bad.
That's not for Fenty.
No,
Fenty is affordable anyway. Like Fenty is a luxury brand, but it's more on the affordable side of luxury brands.
Yeah.
The skincare is hella affordable. Like Pharrell skincare brand, Human Race, which just launched a couple weeks ago, is like way more on the luxury side. It's like $30, $40, $50.
Ooh.
And J-Lo skincare line is like luxury. It's like a Tatcha where it's like $60, $70.
Yeah, I'm good.
But J-Lo, if you want to send me some and I can review it on my YouTube channel, I'm into it, girl.
Yeah, and if anybody has an upcoming skincare line out there, we have lovely faces. I'm not extra sensitive to certain stuff.
I have built up my tolerance, so I am not sensitive either.
Yeah, so send us some stuff. We'd love to review it for you. Even if it's not skincare. If you have any games, any apps, any clothing lines, we would love to advocate for your brand.
Yes. If you
brand.
If you sell candles, bitch, send a brother a candle. I love candles.
Yeah.
If you have a type of food that you sell,
cookies.
We love cookies.
Love cookies.
Speaking of which, I need some insomnia cookies in my life like 20 minutes ago.
Listen, I am on the other side. Hot box cookies be doing it for me.
Hot box cookies are good.
Yeah.
Insomnia has that peanut butter cookie that is just like the right amount of peanut butter for me.
Listen, hot box cookies have this chocolate chip oatmeal cookie and this monster cookie that has like M&M chocolate chips, oatmeal.
Oh my God.
It's literally, shout out to my boo, because sometimes while I be having a bad day, she'll send me a box. I don't know where.
We love to see it.
She just want to keep me fat so nobody else want me, but it's cool. It's cool, because I'm still fine, okay? No, this is a little joke. I mean, it's not the reality.
I'm not gonna play with you today.
But also in other news, I got to segue and talk about some other stuff. Coming to America 2 has finished filming, obviously, and has been releasing some footage or some promo photos.
And they look so good.
I'm so excited. It looks like some of the original cast has come back. Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall. I don't remember his love interest. What's her name? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Hear me typing away.
Type.
Oh my God, let me find it. I hope they bring back Sexual Chocolate. Sexual Chocolate!
not Sexually Chocolate.
Sexual Chocolate.
God, I haven't seen that movie in so long. I need to watch it before.
I need to rewatch it. What?
It came out in the early 90s, didn't it?
No, it came out in 88.
Shut the fuck up.
Like, seriously. Prince Akeem.
The royal penis is clean. That was my favorite part of the
Whatever
movie.
you like.
Listen, y'all.
Juices and berries, y'all.
Black
So many
people
quotables.
are so lit. So very lit.
And the original cast: James Earl Jones, John Amish, Sherry Headley. She's come back as his love interest. Looks great. Soul Glow. There's so many quotables. So many quotables from that movie.
Shine on through. Listen.
Samuel Jackson was he was a robber. He didn't have a name. Back? No, I don't know if he's not.
I was like, wait a minute.
It's the original cast. Michael Jackson is the most funniest man. Like, his man is like 70.
Yeah, he is
close to 70, at least close to 70.
Let's see.
He is hilarious, and like his early roles are hilarious as hell. But shout out to them for remaking this this classic, and I hope they do it justice.
Well, it's not a remake; it's a sequel.
I'm sorry, a sequel. I hope they
71.
71.
He look good for 71.
He does.
Go ahead on with the Kango.
Yes. Oh, Cuban Gooding Jr. was in there too. The boy getting the haircut.
Ain't he in jail?
I think so.
I remember
The memes of the video.
I'm like, wait a minute.
But yeah, a lot of the original cast is coming back, and I just hope they really do it justice for round 2.
Yeah.
Because round 1 was so great, and just sitting here thinking about all the quotables from that movie. And that's one thing that's really prevalent in my family. My family is, if you're not able to quote or know where the quote is from a black movie, it's a problem.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's a problem.
My mom and I do that all the time.
Yeah, I like to just randomly like speak in quotes. Like, that's like my thing. Like,
yep.
Yeah. So, also talking about back to oversaturating the market, or not oversaturating the market, the cannabis market. It's oversaturated with white men, and the prison system is oversaturated with a whole bunch of black men that had nonviolent marijuana charges who are still incarcerated.
Yep.
But that was not the point of me saying that. I just wanted to bring a little light to that because I feel like the episode was lacking a little blackness. You know,
little blackness, just a little.
Anyway, Jay-Z has started a cannabis line. It's supposed to be the shit. It's called Monogram, and it's supposed.
Yeah, man, y'all know Jay-Z and Beyonce be high as.
I know Beyonce be. The videos I heard in the car laid out like she'll literally perform in 6-inch heels for an hour or two. And I know she get lit. I know she has to get lit.
I think she'd be high on stage.
Probably.
I feel like Beyonce is so like used to her career. Yeah. That she is just like, you know what?
She's going autopilot mode, muscle memory.
Right.
Yeah, that shit is funny. It was a video of her breaking one of her props. I remember the video in the early 2000s of her falling down all the stairs.
Just ring the alarm?
Ring the alarm.
And then popping right back the fuck up because she's who? Beyonce.
She is motherfucking Beyonce.
Because what? Sickening.
Yes, bitch. At this point, today is December 17th. There's still no update on the cover relief package.
Yay!
And like, I went on a very angry rant in a previous episode.
Mm-hmm. Episode 3, I believe.
Yes, and they really trying to give people a stimulus check of $600.
Yep.
They really don't want to continue the unemployment benefits for the people who are displaced, not for their own doing, but because the economy sucks. Because jobs.
The president of the United States mishandled a pandemic that he knew about well before it fully gripped the United States. Yeah. And anybody who believes that he did not know about it before, any of y'all motherfucking Trump heads out there that are like, he didn't know or blah, 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 blah. He knew.
He's the president of the free world.
He's the president of the free world, and there's also a multitude of evidence, proven legal evidence, unlike the evidence that he's trying to present about the election, that proves that he knew about the virus. Yeah. There's video. Have you seen the video? Not video, audio of him saying that he wants to downplay the virus because...
Oh, I've heard the audio, yes.
Like, it's his fault. It's nobody else's fault. It
definitely is. And the government officials, the people who they have their hands in the debates or the debates of the COVID relief, they're obviously far removed from reality because what $600 don't even pay my rent, let alone people who have rent in big cities like LA and Dallas and Austin and New York. And a lot of these people, we literally got a stimulus check. When did that come out? In March of this year, 2020?
No, it wasn't March. It was more like May.
You're right.
It was May, and I didn't get mine until September.
Yeah, so May. So literally May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 7 months. What are people supposed to do? People have been getting evicted. People have been returning to work, but returning to work making way less than a livable wage.
Way less.
Some people's monthly income has been split in halves and fourths and thirds. So the numbers of people returning to work is really, they don't take into account the people who are not making the same amount of money.
Which is pretty much everybody who is working in a quote entry level or like service job, retail, working in the grocery stores, who are essential workers because they work in the grocery store and should be receiving some type of hazard pay. And at this point, I feel like they're like, oh, well, if you don't want to work those jobs, then you don't deserve any relief money. But you want really people to put their health on the line. And also, like, a lot of people, like myself, yes, my job shut down, and I could easily, well, not easily because the job market is oversaturated, but like I could go and get another job. Mm-hmm. But when my job reopens, I'm just gonna go back to my job.
Yeah, if your job is able to reopen.
If my job is able to reopen, God willing, they're able to reopen. But like, why would I go and get a job for however many weeks to quit and then go back to the job I was like It doesn't make sense to put my life and the life of the people I live with in danger for a job that is not going to pay me enough money to even live.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the reality of it, that people are that the government is just really, really failing, and I don't know how these people can say that they are government servants or servants of the people if this is the way you're treating the people. You literally were trying to push for these businesses to have liability insurance against getting sued from workers who literally lost their lives being on the front line and working for you because you didn't shut down. Because they didn't want to risk not having a job. So it's very sickening and it's very disheartening and it's maddening. It pisses me the fuck off because it's just like, y'all voted to extend it. It's Thursday. Like I said, we're recording Thursday, December 17th. And literally, if they don't make come to an agreement by tomorrow, unemployment ends on the 26th.
Yep.
Rent is due on the 1st.
Yep.
Bills are due. Bills haven't gone away because of COVID.
Nope.
Bills haven't shut down because of COVID.
Nope.
They're still here. They're still they still want their money.
The craziest thing to me is there's all this debt. Mm-hmm. There's all this debt floating around everywhere. No one this year has been able to financially recoup. Mm-hmm. Some people have. Yeah. Most people, Jeff Bezos has been able to recoup. Most people are in a situation where they will not anytime soon be financially stable again. And these are people, I'm talking about people who were financially stable before the pandemic started.
Like people had mortgages, they had car notes, they had student loan bills, they have utility bills, they have children to feed.
First of all, student loan debt should be canceled. Student loan debt should not even ever have been a thing to begin with. I don't know whose brilliant idea it was, but whoever it was, I want to dig them up and fight them. Mortgage debt for this year should be canceled.
Really, it just should be credit forgiveness. Like, start everybody over at a 650 credit score because people who have lost their jobs, and it's literally either you're going to pay your bills or you're going to pay for a roof over your head, and you're going to keep the lights on. And if you're working from home and you're working at a customer service job where you're making $12 or $10 or $9 an hour, but they're trying to pay rate now, people are going to make sure they have a roof over their head before they pay anything. They're just going to be like, well, fuck the credit card debt. Yep. I'm just going to make sure that I can eat and my family can eat
Yep.
and I can keep the lights on.
Yep.
Like they really literally have to rob Peter to pay Paul. And that's really taken away from what you would pay one bill and putting it towards another bill, in case you didn't know about that terminology. But yeah, it's
terrible. It's sickening, and it just confuses me that they have to debate on it.
It's not a political thing. It's really a human,
it's a
morality thing.
Yeah, that clearly the U.S. government has no morals.
No, we don't. And it's just like we're supposed to be the greatest country in the world, and you look around at all these other developed countries like Canada and Switzerland and Germany and France and Australia and the UK, and they're actually paying their people
a month.
France is literally paying up to 80% of people's salary that were displaced workers. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, at this point, y'all just don't want to. Y'all just want to widen the gap between classes.
I saw something on TikTok the other day where the president of New Zealand, if you didn't know, New Zealand has reopened. They have no COVID cases. And I saw two things in regards to New Zealand. One was from a person who lives in New Zealand, and she was telling how strict the lockdown was. One person could leave the house and go to the store. If you were going somewhere, were going for more than a walk around your neighborhood, you were being stopped by the police. Like, in America, that's scary because police officers will shoot you if you're black.
Right.
But if we lived in a system, in a world, in a place like New Zealand, where the government was made for the people and not for themselves and for big business, we would be done with COVID.
We really would be.
But instead, we live in a country where money rules everything.
Literally, a mayor resigned because they were receiving death threats for implementing a mask mandate. Mm-hmm. There has been a kidnap coup or attempt on the governor of Wisconsin or Minnesota.
One of the two, yeah.
Yeah. Because people don't want to wear a mask. People that damn selfish. They're like, oh, this is literally my right. Okay, if you want to die from COVID, go ahead.
It is your right to die of COVID.
It is. But it's just like if we would have came together as a common human race and realized that this is something that's taken over 250,000 people from this life and did what we were supposed to do, did a neighborly thing and make sure we stay 6 feet apart, make sure that, instead of dining in, try to do takeout. And yes, it was very hard and very mentally taxing being on lockdown for the first month.
Yeah.
But it was proven cases went down, but as soon as we opened back up, cases went up, deaths went up.
It was so nuts because they were like, when we have a trend of cases going down for 3 weeks or something like that, we'll assess reopening, and the cases were going down. And right as the cases were going down, they were like, all right, let's reopen. And as soon as they reopened, the cases went right back up.
Yeah.
Listen, do I want to wear a mask everywhere I go? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, but I would much rather wear a mask, a cloth mask that I can get a cute design on and match it to my outfits, than to have a ventilator on my face, or to have to be laying face down in a hospital bed because I can't breathe laying on my back.
Yeah. And I don't think we've talked about this, but the singer and artist and songwriter Jeremiah had a bout with COVID, and people don't really talk about.
I saw that,
people don't really talk about the other side of COVID. He literally had to learn how to walk again because he had organ failure. He had memory loss. Because when you're not able to breathe, that's taking away oxygen from your brain. Your brain stops functioning properly.
Yep.
And your brain is basically the motherboard of your body.
Yeah.
The central computer to all your organs. So if your brain's not getting enough oxygen, then everything else starts to fail.
Yeah, everything. You know how I work with a computer.
Yeah.
You get that one virus and your computer is on the fritz.
It's on the fritz.
So just y'all be safe out there. Wear a mask.
Yeah, and hopefully when we do our next couple of rounds of episodes, by then the Senate would have approved something for the American people. Yeah. If not, then there's going to be an uproar.
Yeah. We only have until January 20th, and then we have an entirely new president and one who is already taking this more seriously than 45 did.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cut that right there.
Yeah. Until next time.
Yes, until next time. We will see you all on the next episode.
Yeah, don't forget to follow on my back.
Oh, no, you go ahead. I was about to straight up be like, bye, and not give our socials out.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. It's Urban Proper Pod, P-O-D.
And Facebook and Instagram are at Urban Proper Podcast.
Yes, and we also have a link tree link that you're gonna be seeing on our social medias popping up.
Yes, and that will link you to all of our social media and all the places you can listen to the podcast.
Yeah. So, and it's like I said, this episode was really geared toward the people who are newcomers to the content or struggling with their content. If you have any questions or any comments, hit us up on our socials. We want to talk to you. Talk to us about what you want to hear, anything you want to learn. We'll try to reach out to some professionals and get you some information. But until next time, y'all.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.